AskReddit by Hot Banana Ice Cream. What is a creepy fact about the human body? If you wear a glass which vertically inverts your vision long enough, your brain will correct it and you'll see things normal. But when you take those glasses off, everything will look upside down again until brain recalibrates again. I need to try this. How long does it take? The inside of your cheek and your rectum are lined by the same type of tissue. Go ahead. Feel. Cheek first preferably. Also the vagina, that's why blowjobs feel so good. Bodies will move as they are coming out of rigor. I've been bumped by a few. I'm a coroner. Bodies can also make sounds as the remaining air gas leaves. 2 AM in the morgue and I thought I was in COD Zombies. Good to know. I work in the ICU and sometimes patients die and we keep them in a room until they are transported to pathology. If they moved, I would scream. Our brain filters out a lot of what we see along with just straight making shit up based on extrapolation. Proprioception always amazed me. That extrapolation allows your brain to estimate distances automatically and know the positioning of your arms and legs at all times. You can close your eyes and touch your nose with your finger without much thought involved. If a stroke knocks out that part of your brain, you have dysmetria, where you have a lot of difficulty subconsciously measuring distances. The front of your tongue is curious, constantly patrolling, and autonomous. It chases a dentist around your mouth and you aren't even aware of it. So embarrassing and weird creepy. Eater. There are few dentists in here and equals share and amp. UTM medium equals IOSAP and amp. UTM name equals IASMF and amp. Context equals 3 is my favorite comment. In dental school, I learned this fact when practicing taking impressions on each other. My buddy's tongue kept licking my finger. I asked him to quit licking me, and he was like, I can't help it, and then we switched places and my tongue wouldn't leave him alone. And for those of you that don't think your tongue does this, some of you are right. But the majority of you just think your tongue is behaving. But it is all over the place without you even knowing. Heard a story of this guy who got an axe or something to his head. Destroyed most of his brain, except the part that processes routines. He got up from the bed beside his dead wife, got dressed, started brushing his teeth, what was left of them, casually checked the mirror and wiped his skin of some blood with tissue. Walked round the house and collected newspaper from the doorstep. Eventually he just collapsed. He was like a zombie, unaware of anything but for his routine. Really freaky. It was an axe wound and his son was the one that inflicted it. The intestines are covered by a double fleece of peritoneum. See it like a blanket. When your intestines get damaged for whatever reason, this blanket starts moving out of itself and crawling upwards towards the place which has the injury. It will stay there until the injury is recovered, and then move on again. Maybe not the most creepy fact, but definitely interesting in my opinion. That is oddly comforting really, but yes, interesting. The fact that the placebo effect even exists suggests that the brain does have some capacity to force the body to resolve diseases, and this has never been fully explained. Scientists are still exploring how this ability works and if it can be developed further. When you get lasered to remove all the ink doesn't disappear, you pee it out. Your body's immune system breaks down the pigments of ink and it flows in your bloodstream, gets processed through your kidneys. Then you pee out the ink. Deleted. The liver can grow parts of itself back. If you get a splinter or foreign object stuck in your skin, you can hold a flashlight against your skin and shine the light through your flesh, and the foreign object will be a dark spot. Light actually passes through our flesh quite well. Also, if you shine a bright enough light into your mouth, you can see the light in your own eyes. Edit. I'm really glad that so many people have gotten out their flashlights and had some fun with them. Never stop exploring and being curious and trying to discover new things. The world is amazing and has so much crazy stuff to uncover. You'll keep having fun now, and thank you everyone for all the wonderful replies and absolutely making my day. So what you're telling me is I can become a jack-o'-lantern? If you hit your chest at a very specific time in the electrical cycle, your heart will stop. Sometimes there are just random extra muscles. You can go your entire life without even knowing it. I've worked as a mortician and the Ms would tell me about some cases like this. Also, just random tumors, even when the individual had never been diagnosed. Lastly, skin sounds like saran wrap when peeled from the body. Skin sounds like saran wrap when peeled 3E from the body. Liar, take it back. I don't want to know this. You can become allergic to yourself. I am allergic to my own cum. I once had a bit of cum on my stomach and it became red and itchy. Your intestines know what shape they are supposed to be in and can move themselves, which means gut surgeons can just stuff them back into you when they are done and they'll sort themselves out. I have had my intestine resected, piece cut out, sewn back together, and now I am picturing the surgeon just shoving my guts back into me like a sleeping bag in a stuff sack when the job was done. A pregnant female corpse will build up enough gas to expel the fetus even after death. Look up coffin birth. I will not. 3-4 inches of the penis is inside the body. When you are thrusting, you are also thrusting yourself. I can't believe there's more inside than outside. We ate our own hair while inside the womb. Babies eat the lanugo, called as the fetus hair, that they shed while in the womb, and it builds up within them to form the substance that makes up their first poop, known as meconium. I am currently pregnant and my morning sickness is not okay with this. The pain you feel from a sunburn is your skin cells effectively killing themselves before they mutate into cancer. Nah, fuck that, I'm not going outside anymore. Human beings are a cesspool of bacteria and when you die your body eats itself from the inside out. More bacteria than human cells in our bodies. I might also add that billions of bacteriophages, viruses, feed on the bacteria in your gut. It's a whole ecosystem in your gut. People keep saying your brain in these comments. I think one of the creepiest things is that you are the brain and the brain is you, but for some reason we brains really don't like to acknowledge this. The brain contains so much information about itself or some of our bodily needs that it decides to keep from us, well, itself. In response, the brain can undergo analysis to theorize how itself works. In other words, the brain might very well know how itself works, it just keeps that information from itself, but it has the curiosity to not only ask how itself works but for some people a drive to discover how it all functions. You can grow tumors with hair, teeth, and eyes but no heart or brain. I've had 2 of those. The one I had removed when I was 18 was full of different bits of bone and hair and teeth. And when it grew back at 29 it was half hair, half sebum. Allegedly, your immune system has no clue your eyes exist. Effective tomorrow, if your immune system found out about your eyes it would treat them as an external threat. Therefore try and neutralize your eyeballs leaving you blind. True. Eyes are so-called immune privilege sites. Severe trauma to the eye could potentially expose the immune system to antigens of the eye. That's when things can go dark. There is an urban myth that your fingernails continue to grow after death, which is supposed to explain why dead bodies often appear to have long nails. The truth is that the soft tissues in the fingers and hands tend to contract as they lose moisture, leading to the appearance of growing nails. Same reason people believed in vampires, the gums would retract, making it appear that the corpse had grown long teeth. It was thought the corpse was possessed by an evil spirit which would feed on the blood of the living, and bingo, vampires enter mythology. Human skin is overlaid with a pattern called Blaschko's lines, stripes covering the body from head to toe. The stripes run up and down your arms and legs and hug your torso. They wrap around the back of your head like a hood and across your face. You just can't see them. I just had to look these up, and it's super cool. Are you going to leave out the coolest part, though? You actually can see these lines, but only under a UV light. It is believed that mitochondria were once separate living beings that were engulfed by another cell, but didn't die. Instead, they provided benefit to the engulfing cell. They are a separate being. Today, the human DNA has over 3 billion base pairs, while mitochondria only have about 16,000. You're a composite creature made up of at least 2 species. I also really enjoy how we inherit our mitochondria from our mothers. And only our mothers. And it's not scrambled, it is identical. The mitochondria present in the egg cell from which we develop are the same as are in the rest of our mother's cells. As it was for her mother, and her mother's mother, and so on. It's why DNA testing with mitochondrial DNA is much less precise, but still useful. It will at least isolate you to a maternal genetic line. What I've always found interesting then is, how are there differences? Just genetic mutations across time? Mitochondria, their history, and their DNA absolutely fascinate me. Food that was consumed can sometimes take up to 5 days to fully pass through your intestines into your colon. So when people say that you are full of shit, they ain't lying. Yep. We can store up to 5 kilos of shit at any given time. The insides of your eyeballs are completely isolated from the rest of your body. If your body discovers the inside of your eyeball through a puncture or some other reason, it can attack your eyeball as a foreign invader. It will also attack the other eyeball, just in case. Be nice to your eyes. Udream Bella 2 points out it's called ocular immune privilege. How does it know the other one exists after finding the first one? The pancreas is able to secrete enzymes that digest food in a very effective manner. That also means that if said pancreatic enzymes happen to spill out into a place in your body where they're not supposed to be, for example from some forms of direct trauma to the bile ducts, they'll digest your insides. There's countless ways it can just go wrong. Just out of fucking nowhere, completely unexpectedly, something can become fucked up in a way which is anything from life-alteringly debilitating to lethal. I once barely reached out to grab a spoon and couldn't move my back for 3 days. The placebo effect is one of the biggest superpowers of the human body, showing how strong and weak it is at the same time and how easy it is to trick any mind. Modern day science can't still fully understand it,